Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of Chaos Child. We're going to get right into it here where we left off last time in Chapter 1, Digital Native. We're following Takuru into high school. And so this is a magazine article about the incident that occurred on the 7th. The 7th? The suicide that took place during a Nikonia stream, right? I read that article. We don't know for sure that it was a suicide, though. People on the net are calling it the Don't Look case. And here's the video of the broadcast. I saw that too. Wait, we saw it together. And here's the building it took place in. Onoe took some more photos for me yesterday. I know that too. And this is the inside of his room. Huh? No way, you took this? When? Wait, how? Until then, Ito had been disinterestedly pointing his camera at the colorful decorations in the hallway, but this got his attention. Of course it did. No one else had seen these pictures yet. Last weekend, you can see the room from the 5th floor of the karaoke place on the other side of the street. Seriously? So this is Shinji Ito? Here. This is the 5th floor. You could always count on him to be interested when it came to new information. So what, you went in by yourself? Huh? I mean, you went to the karaoke place by yourself. For karaoke alone? I didn't have a choice, did I? And it's not embarrassing, and I didn't sing, so it wasn't really karaoke. To be honest, I was a little embarrassed. The guy at the counter, who was probably just a part-timer, had stared at me suspiciously. Maybe I'd attracted his attention by coming in during the middle of the day in my uniform. And since I'd never been there before, he made me fill out membership paperwork. I didn't know how to do it, so it took a long time. And actually, I'd never been to a karaoke place before in my life. Alright, I got these. Let's go to the next room. This is such a pain. We went over to the gym from the 2nd floor hallway. It was filled with students laughing over who knows what. The whole school was getting ready for the Culture Festival next week. This year's festival was supposed to be a big one. Hekiho Academy was the first private high school, built as part of the restoration efforts, and so it was attracting a lot of attention. One reason why everyone was so excited for the school fair was the school's lax rules with lots of clubs and activities. But the biggest reason was the Shibuya Peace and Restoration Festival 2 months from now. 2 months from now, on November 6th, would mark 6 years since the Shibuya earthquake. The 5-year anniversary fair last year had affected the whole town. And since the school was in Shibuya too, it would include us. We were just a simple high school, but now our culture festival was being treated as a prelude to the big one, and supposedly there would be TV cameras filming the day of the event. Wow, aren't those costumes copyrighted? Can they get away with that? And wait, why are they wearing them now? Ito turned his camera toward a group of people pretending to be pro wrestlers. Ito and I were in the newspaper club, and it was our job to record the festivities. The principal had ordered that all clubs were to participate in the Culture Festival, and recording the festivities was our way of getting by without having to do much work. Recording videos and taking photos was my hobby, and more than anything, it seemed like the way that would demand I burn the fewest calories. I couldn't see myself participating in any of the usual festival nonsense, like the baseball team's fried baseball ice cream stand, which was probably just regular fried ice cream in a ball. Or the Pro Wrestling Research Club's Mascot Pro Wrestling, or even the seance that the Mystery Club and Fortune Telling Club were putting on together. They probably just don't have anything better to do. Hey, don't pull my whiskers, you'll rip them off. Huh? Aren't those antennae? What do you think? If they were antennae, wouldn't you look cuter if you ripped them off? Huh? What? Do I really have to answer such a stupid question? Goddamn normies. Go die in a fire. Hey, don't make fun of normies. I'm a normie. Huh? Hey, you idiot, the camera! He dropped it. That thing's expensive. Hey, what do you mean? You're hurting me. Wait, the camera! Did you betray me? Did you lose a level? When did you get a girlfriend? Huh? I don't have a girlfriend, but forget that. Pick up the camera. What? I slipped out of Ito's grasp and picked up the camera. Looks like it's safe. Good. I relaxed and handed the camera back to Ito. Sheesh, get a hold of yourself. We're not like them. We're right-siders, you know? Want me to give you a lecture about it? Listen, the term normie first came into use on the Japanese internet around 2005. It referred to someone whose daily life was fulfilling and satisfying. Originally, the term netizen existed as its antonym, but that distinction barely exists anymore. That's because the net is now an integral part of everyday life. When it first came into use, simply having friends was enough to qualify one as a normie, but gradually this requirement shifted into having a lover. But this too is changing. The modern definition of normie is now someone whose life is truly satisfying. That is, someone who's doing what they really want to do. In that sense, I am a normie. This guy. Therefore, the people over there who are screwing around and wasting time aren't normies at all. You need to use words correctly. Seriously, he needs to be careful. This guy is such a Redditor. Just being a wrong-sider by itself is a sin these days. Ugh. After I finished my lecture, I saw that Ito was staring at me wordlessly. What, did he not understand it? I'd walked him through the entire etymology. Miyashiro. What? You're not a normie. Let's use words correctly, okay? Huh? Why? Normies don't talk like that. Wait, why? And you know, I've got acquaintances who are women, of course men too. I just told you, normies don't talk like that. But what's the reason? And may I also add, I quickly swallowed my words, I'm studying fashion too. I'd read that new issue of Cool Cat before I put it away. There was an article in it called Utsunomiya's Fashion Leader. I thought it looked pretty good. If I could wear that stuff, I'm sure... Oh, that image of him. What? Nothing. I'm telling you. I'm... Sure, whatever, man. Let's go. As he walked away, I turned my eyes toward the group of mascot pro wrestlers. Alright then, we'll all wear the same outfit. Oh, like Sentai Rangers. We can split the colors up. I'll be yellow. The audience would love it, but do we have the budget? We've got your allowance, right? Shove it. Or we could paint the colors onto our bodies. It just has to get laughs, right? Humph. I'm busy. Welcome back, Master Keiron. It's not very cute, is it? Can we fix that? Don't say that it's not cute. And wait, it's not fair that only the girls are waitresses. The boys should be waitresses too. Did Garo Froggy really talk like that? Ito had just finished recording the goings-on in the classroom. Oh, not where I would expect to have a delusion. It doesn't matter. This was class 3-1. Ito's in my class. We'll go with a... Wait, how do I do it again? Oh boy, wait, I'm forgetting the controls. Oh wait, can I not do it yet? Most of the class was busy with the Garo Froggy Cafe we were doing for the festival. Some people were ignoring the fuss and studying. Here, wait, let me check the... I have already forgotten the controls, my bad. Oh, Z or C on controller. Oh wait, no, don't want to do that. Okay, so last time, for our first illusion, we did a -1. So why not do a +1 here? Some of the otaku were reading light novels. Did they really think that if they left the paper cover from the bookstore on it, we couldn't tell it was a light novel? They were just trying their best to stay out of the way. Most people were happily making Garo Froggy decorations, or putting on Garo Froggy costumes and messing around. All the clubs had to participate in the festival, but so did all the classes. No one had told me, but evidently several months ago we decided to do a Garo Froggy themed cafe. You dummy, Garo Froggy has a girl's voice. Well, sure, but it's just a culture festival. We're allowed to change it. That's wrong. Huh? Ito tilted his head in confusion. Alright, here we go. Our positive delusion. Hey, Miyashiro. Huh? You think you could try on this Garo Froggy costume, Keron? Sorry, we're busy. Oh, sure, I'll put it on. This is the fashion he was talking about. What? Hey, thanks, Miyashiro. When I made it, I kept thinking that you were the perfect size. Oh, this is definitely a delusion. I managed to get the costume on without much trouble. I slipped the top part over my head. It was pretty hot inside. And since I could barely see anything, it felt really claustrophobic. How do I look? Just perfect. Try saying something. Oh, I had to listen to him say that. I'm Garo Froggy, Garo. Wow, that's so cute. I'm going to give you a hug. And then I felt something soft pressed against my arm. You hug me too, Garo Froggy. Really? I slipped my arm around her like she asked me to. Definitely a delusion. Oh no, don't touch my butt. You're such a pervert, Garo Froggy. Hadn't I read something once about how you could hug all the girls you wanted if you put on a costume? At the time, I thought it was a bunch of crap. Did it really work? I was having the time of my life when... Oh, Garo Froggy's done? He's so cute, I want to hug him too. No fair, me too. Nope, Garo Froggy is mine. Then why don't we all hug him at once? Oh, that's a great idea. Well, okay, I guess. It's okay, right, Garo Froggy? Here we go. 1, 2... Garo Froggy, I love you, they all say in unison. I thought about telling Ito about this, but knowing what a skirt chaser he was, he might actually take it seriously and really try to put the costume on. It was probably better not to tell him. I wouldn't want to see him sued for sexual harassment, and decided to get back on topic. I took out my Pokécom and showed it to Ito. Oh, damn. So here's the images from the 19th of this month. Audio bleed, huh? Let me see. I haven't seen this one before. Where'd you get it? It showed up for an instant on an aggregator wiki. I scraped it before it got deleted. This one's got a nicer angle, right? Hey, let me up this to Niconia along with the stuff you took from the karaoke box. I've already upped it to the newspaper club's cloud storage. Make some adjustments so it's easier to see, then do what you want with it. Views have been kind of bad lately. The last video I up got tagged with "Cameraman, do your damn job," and "This angle sucks." Ito looked really upset. So that must have been the other person we were looking through the eyes of. Well, I knew how he felt. The Hekiho Academy Newspaper Club had been the first in the nation to upload a video version of the school paper to Niconia. Our papers dealt with anything involving Shibuya. We'd done a special on the Shibuya restoration once that a local paper had written about. We won a special prize at a city journalism contest, and the video had received over 80,000 views despite being boring as hell. After that, though, I could understand being upset at the fact that new videos dealing with goings-on in Shibuya weren't breaking 2 digits. Oh, I was the one who put that "Cameraman, do your damn job" tag on. That angle was crap, man. Ta-da! Got it! Oh, and it's an original. I'm so tired. A boyfriend and girlfriend walked in, evidently back from shopping. Their arms were full of Garo Froggy stuffed animals. I told you that's wrong. Huh? What's wrong? Ito hadn't noticed then. I looked at my classmates who were already beginning to play with their new toys and said, I've told you this before, right? You can tell an average teenager's information level by knowing what sites they go to. This was a personal theory of mine. Smartphones and Pokécoms had become a religion to the modern teenager, and the information they gained from these portable terminals had a huge influence on their lives. Oh my god, the way this dude talks. Let's look at the Pokécom, though. So it's fictional, a tablet-style mobile device with a 7-inch high-def screen. Its official name is Phone Droid, but it's known colloquially in Japan as Pokécom, despite having nothing to do with the pocket computer that was released in the 1980s. Beginning in 2012, the Pokécom had gotten much more popular worldwide and is expected to someday replace smartphones. Offers multiple applications such as video calling, an internet browser, TV, games, microblogging apps, and a camera. It is said that the option to make phone calls will be implemented soon as well. Phone Droid I recognize. I think maybe this was in like Steins Gate, or maybe it was Robotics Notes or something. Basically just a smartphone though. Some people only looked at SNSs like Tweepo, Rhine, and Facebook, others at Channel and Niconia. Some looked at all of those sites, as well as the links they found there. And then some looked at all those things, as well as their favorite celebrity blogs, the big @channel aggregators, and then whatever humor site was popular at the moment. All of these people were wrong-siders. And the scary thing was that these days, 9 out of 10 wrong-siders were teenagers. So, Garo Froggy launched 6 years ago as a cell phone strap, which got popular for reasons no one ever understood. This was in Chaos Head. And then lately, a combination of Garo Froggy memes on Tweepo, as well as an amateur anime posted in Nikonia, if I remember right, it was a talking, dancing frog singing anime themes, had created a fad, though I hated to use the word for something so stupid. It amazed me that people honestly believe that the ribbit sounds made by the female actress in those videos were from the original, or that the original was the stuffed animal that had come out recently and not the phone strap. My guess was that they only got their information from Tweepo. And a man can't be a waitress, he's a waiter. This was one of the reasons I joined the newspaper club. I didn't want to end up like them. Anyway, Miyashiro-kun? A girl, evidently the one in charge of the waitresses, was talking to me. Who is she again? Fujita-san? Fujimoto-san? I think there was a Fuji. What is it, Tanaka-san? Tanaka. I was totally wrong. About the videos we're going to be playing in the classroom. What is she talking about? Oh, right. They were going to make their own version of the Nikonia videos where they wore costumes and danced. Do you think we could do some close-ups or something instead of just shooting from the same spot the whole time? What? Is she telling me what to do? I didn't volunteer to videotape it. You guys forced me. Well, it's better than being told to dance or make props myself. Oh, well... You see... You don't want to fix. You want us to move around? Fix? I don't know what you mean. Oh, we can do it. We can do close-ups or whatever. Really? Great. I'll write up how we want you to do it and give it to you before the shoot. And then she fled. That surprised me. Don't scare me like that. I was so nervous I was sweating a little. Ito looked at me and sighed. What? There's no way you're a normie, man. What? You freak out whenever you're talking to someone new. I can't help it. She came out of nowhere. And what's more, I made it a policy not to talk to anyone unless it was necessary. This was the first time in quite a while I'd spoken to any of my classmates but Ito. How'd it go? He was bragging about something, you know? Fix or something? What? More technobabble? They had already started to spread meaningless information. Stop it. Hearing whispers about me in the classroom brought back bad memories. I was starting to have a hard time breathing. Hey, you okay? I must have looked like I was in pain because Ito was looking at me with concern on his face. I quickly nodded to show that I was fine. If you want to talk behind someone's back, do it where they can't hear you, and it's not bragging or technobabble. It doesn't bother me. Fujita-san is... Who's that? Oh, Tanaka-san is just a wrong-sider. That's right. It wasn't worth worrying about. She was just ignorant. Ito looked over at our other classmates who were having fun. Jeez, they're obdurate as hell. Obdurate? Uh-oh. What did that mean again? I knew I'd heard it before. I ran a search on my Pokecom, making sure not to let Ito see. Obdurate. Stubbornly refusing to change out of a lack of pity or remorse. Ruthless. That's right. I think that's exactly the right word. They have no remorse at all. You've got that right. Ito nodded, annoyed. Good. Looks like he didn't find out. Do the otaku at the bottom of the social hierarchy always have to give the people above us something to talk about? Hold it. The school's social hierarchy wasn't something I cared about, but... Hey, I'm not an otaku. Not this again. What do you mean again? I just don't like it when people are wrong. Do you want... No, I do not want a lecture. The definition of the word otaku is changing, and the negative connotations it originally had are disappearing, but... Even now, in 2015, it still mostly serves to denote those obsessed with anime, light novels, video games, and idols. I thought I saw a boy reading a light novel turn toward me, but I didn't care. I don't watch stupid anime or read stupid light novels. It's a waste of time. Weren't you going on about how great some anime was? What was it? Blood Tune? I said I don't watch stupid anime. It's no different than people who ignore quality movies like The Double Life of Veronica or It's My Wonderful Life and just watch the same stuff over and over. And then they say, anyone who hasn't seen this show is a casual. I get it, I get it. Or people who lie about having read books like Transmutation City or The Fiends and just read light novels all day. The word otaku refers to people like that, who only bother to absorb information about subjects they enjoy. Camera otaku always seemed like a bunch of weirdos to me. As long as they're not bothering anyone, who cares? I'm a Johnny otaku myself. Stop it, please. More than anything, I don't want to be the same as you people. And then the door to the classroom flew open. Oh, okay. We could keep alternating. A female student was looking in. She must have been in a hurry because she was a little out of breath. She brushed her long hair out of her eyes and was about to come inside. Yeah, maybe we'll just alternate at least a little bit more. No, what's up? Let's see what happened to No. Oh, Empress. Perfect timing. The whole class started talking to her. Oh, and it's a character with an actual portrait. Ah, hold on. She was about to say something when her foot caught on one of the cables running across the room. Ah! And she suddenly tripped. Oh boy. Here we go. Watch out! I moved quickly. She staggered forward, but I reached out my hand to keep her from falling. For some reason, I felt a powerful impact on the top of my skull as I slammed into the ground. My vision went black. I was about to pass out. What the heck just happened? Allow me to explain. When the Empress lost her balance, for some reason she decided to regain it by jumping. The momentum caused her body to twist in the air. As a result, she landed a perfect flying roundhouse kick to Miyashiro's head. Miyashiro loses the bout by TKO. Okay. Given that was just one possibility, I probably shouldn't do anything. That was a weird one for sure. She almost tripped, but managed to keep her balance. Who knows what the positive one would have been. She smiled a bit and took a deep breath. Probably something perverted. All the students around her, boys and girls alike, began to move. They surrounded her as if they were welcoming a long-lost family member. Hey, who put this cable here? That's dangerous. No, I'm so sorry. Empress, are you okay? Yeah, don't worry about me. She answered them with a smile. Whoops. Didn't mean to open that. I felt like our eyes met. I looked away without thinking. Kurusu No. The first student council president of Hekiho Academy. Hey, so for our cafe, we've got the kitchen and then the other part. What do you call it, where the customers sit? Kurusu smiled a little as she spoke. Kurusu. You mean the hall? Yeah, the hall. Did Mr. Wacky adjust the number of curtains we've got to partition the two? Adjust? Did Mr. Wakui say he was going to do that, Masuda-kun? Huh? You didn't know? Nope, which means he definitely didn't do it. Fine, I'll talk to him. You sure? The teachers seem to have their eye on you, Empress. Actually, they seem scared of you. The student council president's job is to make the teachers' lives difficult for the benefit of the students. Don't worry, I'll use what little power I've got. Oh, and Masuda-kun, stop calling me Empress. Thanks, Empress. Now listen, you. Most of the boys in the class called Kurusu Empress as a joke. She'd gotten the name after becoming a hero to her fellow students through gallant deeds like putting an end to the principal's endless homeroom speeches. Not to mention bringing more types of bread to the school store. Thanks for the costume, No. It was a perfect fit. Tanaka, when I wore that, I couldn't get the zipper all the way up. Oh, should I have kept my mouth shut? I can stop you guys from doing any advertising, you know. I'm sorry, it was a joke. You're just fine, I mean it. And wait, it probably got stuck on your breasts anyway, didn't it? It was a joke. I'm counting on you, okay? Get lots of laughs. She sure was popular. She even knew the names of students in other classes. The top of the school's social hierarchy. That was the first phrase that came to mind. And then... Takeru, we need to talk. Can you come with me? Kurusu walked all the way over to me and Ito. Her expression was so kind, it seemed like she had to be putting on some kind of act. I could see that all the people who'd been surrounding her were staring at me. What does the Empress want with the camera kids? Are they friends? What? You didn't know? No is... Huh? Seriously? Okay, what is she? I ignored my classmates' whispers and focused on Kurusu. Her smile seemed fake, as if it had been plastered onto her face. Whenever she smiled like that, it meant she wasn't in a good mood. Sorry, I can't now. I just figured out something about the case, and I'm putting it together. The student council's really busy with the culture festival right now, you know? So once it's calmed down, Kurusu... Oh, her cheeks twitched a little. Crap. Kurusu didn't like it when I called her by her last name. Can you come with me to the club room really quick? Oh boy, I could sense a dark aura forming around her, hardly befitting a so-called empress. Can you? She's so close to me. Look, let's go to the club room. That's cool with you, Miyashiro? Ito couldn't handle the terror. It didn't look like I could talk my way out of this one. Seeing no other choice, I nodded and stood up. Kurusu! Gah. Kurusu, you got a second? Is this about the portable stoves for all the food stalls on the field? We decided that every stall gets one. Huh? But that's... okay. Sorry, no exceptions. I spoke to the principal, but I couldn't get him to change his mind. If any of the bigger groups are still upset, I'll go talk to them myself. Roger. I mean, wait. Why aren't you where you're supposed to be? Kurusu, I told you that if you're busy, we can do this later. I'm done. Sorry, Kawahara-kun. I'm in a hurry right now. Her tone was gentle, but brooked no argument, as she hurried to the club room. Ooh, okay, this guy kind of hates us. So I think... Our last negative... Oh, Miyashiro, you again? What did you do this time? So, you know, I'm not going to have it be so boring that I always just, you know, flip-flop back and forth on him. And our last negative delusion was kind of disappointing, so we'll do another one. And this guy hates us, so maybe he'll, like, murder us. Kawahara-kun cut her off. I didn't know his first name. He was in the same class as Ito and I, and he was the vice principal of the student council. No, you don't need to tell me. You were pretending to be a reporter again, right? Or was it a detective? Whoops, sorry about that. I knew why he was giving me a hard time. He didn't like the fact that Kurusu was spending time with me. It's not, what? It's not any of your business, I think. It is my business. When you take up Kurusu's time, you cause trouble for me and the rest of the student council. Here we go. Shut up. What? Did you just tell me to shut up? He must have heard that, because he came storming up to me. He tried to grab me by the collar, but I knocked his hand away. Instead, I grabbed his head and put it under my arm. Huh? Hey, let me go! Well, maybe we'll kill him. I grabbed his belt and lifted him up off the ground. Oh, a brain buster! Drop him straight down, Miyashiro! Stop, that's dangerous! I raised Kawahara-kun above my head and then stood there, unmoving for a moment. Just when I was deciding whether to drop him or put him down... Hey, put me down! He flailed his legs out toward the ceiling and tried to escape. The man didn't know when to give up. I could do a lot worse than just drop you, you know. I shifted Kawahara-kun around in my arms and quickly moved into position for a pile driver. Then I dropped him to the ground butt first and slammed his head into the floor. Whoa, a Steiner screwdriver! I heard an awful crunching sound. His skull must have fractured, but just before I dropped him, I let go a little, so it didn't hit him as hard as it could have. If I hadn't, he would be dead right now. Takuru, that's going too far. Kurusu's face was expressionless. I'm calling the police. Don't blame me, blame Kawahara-kun for pissing me off. You ruined your whole life over something like this? I didn't realize you were so stupid. I watched in a daze as Kurusu called the police. Kawahara-kun had passed out, little bubbles of foam forming around his mouth. The teachers had heard the noise and started to gather around me. I guess I'm going to have to drop out of school. Okay, that was another really weird one. Yeah, that's what would happen. Well, I mean, it should be weird, right? It's a delusion. I could beat the stuffing out of Kawahara-kun right now if I wanted, but that would just get me in trouble. Sure he could. I didn't want to ruin my life over something like that. So I decided to just not say anything to him. So I heard you skipped most of elementary and middle school. Is that true? I could feel my legs tense up. I stopped. My face got hot, and without thinking, I glared accusingly at Kurusu. She quickly shook her head. Kawahara-kun, I'm really in a hurry right now. But he kept on staring at me. I felt like he was grinning a little. It pissed me off, but there was nothing I could say. I did the best I could to ignore him and turn away. I ignored what sounded like a little laugh and hurried to the club room. It wasn't me, okay? The second the three of us were alone in the club room, her expression changed. The smile plastered on the student council president's face disappeared. This was who she really was. What wasn't? What Kawahara-kun was saying, I didn't tell him, okay? It didn't bother me. You're lying. Really, it didn't. Everything about me was different than it used to be. So what is it? Did you want to talk about something, Miss Vice President of the newspaper club? Oh, interesting. Kurusu sighed and changed the subject. Takaru, are you eating right? You look like you've lost weight. Huh? Where was this coming from? It's going to start getting colder soon, you know. Can you keep warm in the place you're living in? Ugh. Crap, she's in nag mode. And I heard you told the teachers you were going to get a job after graduation. I told you to say you were going to college. It's not like you aren't smart enough. I know it's going to be hard for you to start now, but I've told you before that I can help. Did you go around asking the teachers? And wait, is that what you wanted to talk about? Well, are you eating right? I'm eating just fine. Everything's just fine. I waved my hand to bring the conversation to a close. I didn't want this to end the way it used to, with a 6-hour lecture about how every aspect of my life was wrong, followed by hard labor as my punishment. Kurusu looked like she still had a lot more to say, but a moment later... You skipped school last Friday, didn't you? Huh? Oh, so that's what all this is about? Yeah, I did. Is that a problem? Of course it's a problem. Where were you? You were out taking those photos you upped to the storage folder, weren't you? Damn it, I figured that would be it. She was right. The pictures I'd taken from the karaoke box were from last Friday when I'd skipped school. I'd started staking out the place early that morning and waited for the manager of the condo building to open the curtains. It was a lot of work, but thanks to that, I was able to get photos of the crime scene that nobody else has except for the police. I've told you before that you need to stop spending all your time on this stuff. Kurusu was the vice president of the newspaper club and had been opposed to Ito's and my journalistic ethos for a long time. We'd spend most of our time investigating crimes in Shibuya, stuff like the attacks on the homeless people that had been flooding the city ever since the earthquake, and urban legends about a company involved in the rebuilding who'd put up tons of security cameras all around the city, and a serial arson case where the culprit had never been caught. And now these strange deaths. For her part, Kurusu said that a student paper shouldn't be investigating crimes. She wrote normal, sincere articles and made normal, sincere videos. The video about the Shibuya recovery efforts that had won a prize had been mostly her work. Takaru, you're acting really strange this time. You've never skipped school to do this stuff before, have you? That was true, but the reason why was obvious, right? I was lucky enough to have this huge mystery right in front of me. This is worth skipping school for. Why? Because it's the first big thing that's happened in Shibuya since we started the newspaper club. This is a huge scoop. Scoop. Hey. That face was bad news. It was scary. Ito was right next to me, so I grabbed him and held him tight. Hey, don't use me as a shield. Wait, am I a shield? And why is her face so scary? A huge scoop. People are dead, and to you, it's just a huge scoop? No, I'm sorry. So stay away from me. I really can't handle this. Don't push me. Wait. Are you really using me as a shield? Oh crap, oh crap. That face was seriously bad news. The Empress was scary enough that she could send a demon running in terror. I never even met a demon either. That's just how scary she was. Care to repeat that? Want to tell me again how all these deaths are just a huge scoop for you? Oh shit. I needed to find some way to stop her. Oh. And then I felt the wind rush by my ears. Huh? What? Oh, okay. And at the worst possible time, the wind blew through the room. Kurusu didn't even have time to hold down her skirt. Oh my, this isn't even a delusion. Okay, here comes my serve. I've got it. My eyes were locked with Kurusu's as I heard the sounds from the open window. I hadn't even realized it was open until then. There was a tennis court on top of the special use building. That was probably the tennis team out there. Alrighty then. I needed to say something. Was I supposed to tell her I hadn't seen anything? Vice President? What, huh? I guess that's just what I'd expect. Idiot! Are you trying to get yourself killed? Does it really matter what color my underwear is right now, asshole? Eee! I flinched at the sudden noise. I'm sorry. And then I realized I was sure that was the sound of Kurusu kicking the wall, or maybe the sound of her murdering Ito, but I was wrong. It was coming from deeper inside the room. That girl. Sheesh. So there's just someone else here the whole time. Kazuki, are you here? Kazuki! Oh, she's got her headphones on. Kurusu sighed and pulled off the headphones that Kazuki always wore. I've told you before to stop hitting the wall every time something goes wrong in ESO 2. Look, you're making a dent. Kazuki Hana. The only first-year student in the newspaper club. But forget her, this was my chance. As Kurusu was rubbing the red marks on Kazuki's hand, I said, anyway, I'm going to keep pursuing this case. I found a clue, and it might be a big one. Kurusu glared at me for a moment, but... Wow, really? Okay, I'll get ready right away. Tell me all about it. I can't wait. Ito hurried over to the club's computer, desperate for any chance to escape his doom. I stared back at Kurusu for a moment, and then... boot up the computer and print out the images in the storage folder. Roger! Ito's voice was louder than it needed to be as he turned on the computer. She's sighing. No more punching the wall, okay? Maybe she took pity on poor Ito, because she didn't say anything else, but she still crossed her arms and glared at us as she leaned against the wall. It looked like she was at least going to hear me out. Or maybe this was just her way of making sure I didn't escape. You owe me lunch later. Why? I don't want to. For using me as a goddamn shield. This was 100% your fault to begin with. I'm sorry, but you were lucky. She didn't get violent. Huh? Violent? The vice president? I nodded. Kurusu was the girl that everyone looked up to, but she was actually very short-tempered. It would take me more than 5 fingers, but less than 10, to count the number of times she'd slap me hard. When I told him that, are you serious? I mean, really? Are there really teenage girls that do that stuff? That's one step short of a closeted dominatrix, or just a total crazy bitch. Jesus. Has no one ever told you that if you want to talk behind someone's back, you should do it where they can't hear you? The nearly crazy bitch didn't even bother looking at us as she spoke. No, we just said that to someone, though, in the classroom. I see. And then she fell silent. She was scary as hell. You just called her a crazy bitch. It felt like if I moved, she'd kill me. You're buying. It's settled. Supersized and with dessert, too. No objections. That was 50% your fault. Actually, it was 100% Ito's fault for not keeping his mouth shut. Hey. What? Did you see it? You saw it, right? I didn't. That was a lie. I'd seen it. They were white. Oh my god. These damn high schoolers. I glanced at Kurusu out of the corner of my eye. I guess that really was just what you'd expect. Still, I'd only gotten a glimpse. It was entirely possible I'd been mistaken. If I burned the image into my brain now, maybe the next time something like this happened, I'd be able to react more quickly. So I prayed for more good luck. And if it ever did happen again, I swore I would react as a right-sider should. A right-sider wouldn't panic over something as insignificant as seeing a girl's underwear. In a situation like that, it was critical that you stayed calm. This guy... When she heard Ito turn on the printer, Kazuki trotted over like she usually did. Okay, I think this is like a fine time to have a positive one. Right? The online game addict had the best computer skills of anyone in the club. Yeah, we'll go with a positive one this time. And you may have noticed you get a few lines before you really pick. Whenever she was around, it was her job to run searches and organize the information on the PC, but... Kazuki, we don't need you for this. I don't consider this part of our club activities. Kazuki gave us a questioning look. Oh, yeah, that's right. Kazuki just said, like she always did, and walked away. See, Kazuki? Your hand's still red. I'll rub it some more for you. Uh-oh. We're gonna get something weird. Kazuki obediently walked toward Kurusu. Okay, this seems like it won't be too bad, but Kurusu took her hands and rubbed them gently like a mother would, like the random flowers. That must have hurt, right? Why would you do something like that? Well, does it still hurt? Pain, go away. Yeah, Kazuki, what's wrong? Why did you just hug me like that? Mm. Oh, you're such a spoiled little girl. Were you lonely because I haven't been able to come to the club for a while? Oh my god. I'm not doing the ums anymore. That doesn't tell me anything. Look in my eyes and answer me, okay? You must have been lonely, right? He just is imagining some Yuri. You're blushing. It's so cute. I'm sorry for making you feel lonely, but don't worry. I'll stay with you for the whole time today. I'm happy to get to be with you, too. Does your hand still hurt? It does? Then I'll use my special charm. Kiss. Kazuki watched with a look of ecstasy in her eyes as Kurusu softly kissed her fingers. It felt like I was seeing something I shouldn't, so I looked away. Your fingers are so thin and pretty, Kazuki. Hey, why are you spacing out? Miyashiro? No, nothing. I chased the stupid idea out of my mind. Kurusu was nice to everyone, even girls like Kazuki who couldn't communicate with others. Of course, in reality, Kurusu and Kazuki had never done anything like that, and they never would. Kazuki put her headphones on and went back to the corner of the room. She started slamming keys again. I never did know how to talk to her. Actually, it felt like it had been forever since I'd even spoken to her. If you could even call that a conversation, that is. She'd been part of the newspaper club for 6 months, and all I knew about her was that she liked games, knew a lot about computers, and hated talking. In the end, Ito printed out the pictures, so I took them and went in front of the bulletin board before Kurusu changed her mind. If Kurusu was going to listen, it was probably better to start at the beginning. This is cool. She didn't seem interested in the cases, but if I ignored her and it made her even madder, even using Ito as a shield wouldn't be enough to save me. There are 2 cases we're looking at right now. The first occurred on the 7th of this month during a Nikonia livestream. It was a public suicide called the Don't Look case. It happened here, in Jinan. Just like you probably guessed, a man killed himself without warning during a Nikonia livestream. Strictly speaking, we don't know for sure that it's a suicide, but it sure looks like one. The dead man's name is Utani Yuma, age 21. He was a live streamer who got quite a lot of views with some kind of fortune-telling program called Today I Learned I Can See the Future. So here's how it went down. First, Utani gave the audience some time to ask questions. He left the camera's field of view. After that, there was the sound of someone knocking at the door. It was faint, but the mic picked it up. There's also some voices, but you can't make them out. When he came back in front of the camera, half of his right arm was missing. It was chopped up into tiny bits and sitting on top of the plate he was carrying. Then he started eating his own fingers like he wasn't feeling any pain at all. Kurusu's expression changed a little. She probably hadn't known that. The suicide had been big news, even on TV, so she'd probably seen it there. But the details had been so horrific that the news didn't mention them. But those details could be found anywhere on the internet. It was only a matter of time before someone started putting it all together. The video event had even started, or the video itself had even started to get around. Then, after a moment, he started to scream in pain. And then he died. Evidently, the viewers thought it was some kind of gag or something at first. Hypovolemic shock. When the body loses too much blood, the heart stops working properly. That's what it said in the police report, and given the time until he collapsed, it's almost certainly right. Ito added. Ito knew more about this stuff than I did. He was a fan of bizarre murders, and he'd read 10 times as many killers' diaries and nonfiction crime books as I had. The most likely theory is that he experienced some kind of mental disorder before the suicide, but the police are supposedly looking for whoever visited the room first. They might be responsible for aiding or abetting a suicide. In Japan, if you saw someone trying to kill themselves and didn't intervene, it wasn't a crime unless the police could prove you wanted them to die. But aiding in a suicide or encouraging someone to commit suicide was illegal. That meant that the police were probably looking for whoever met Utani just before his death. Kurusu was silent, but she was looking at the board and seemed to be listening. It seemed safe, and on to the next case then. Second, the case that occurred on the 19th. It got its name, audio bleed, from the condition the body was found in. It happened here in Shinsen. The girl's name was Takiyanagi Momone, age 20, so that was definitely the girl that we saw. She was a sang-it singer on Nikonia. She's been getting really famous online singing anime theme songs. She was going to sing it at the Restoration Festival, too. On every day when it wasn't raining, she'd always go to the same place at the same time and put on a performance in her fancy band costume. That day, she started her concert pretty late. But something was wrong. Her voice was small, and it didn't sound like it usually did. And then, in the middle of the concert, she died. Blood loss here, too. She'd been stabbed in the stomach before she'd started the concert. What's strange was the condition the body was found in. Ito, play the video. Sure thing. Ito tapped a few keys on the computer's keyboard, and a moment later... People are screaming. Huh? Is this really happening? She's dead. She's really dead. Call an ambulance. Don't know what that's saying. Kurusu looked confused when she heard the sound. Evidently, she wasn't able to make it out. Oh, not that one. The one Shibuya News upped with the enhanced audio. Oh, that one, yeah. Oh, here we go. Is this really happening? She's dead. She's really dead. Call an ambulance. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Huh. Her expression changed. She must have been able to hear it this time. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. According to the regulars, that's how she would begin every performance. Okay, what is the tip for take it easy? I would not have expected that. A phrase often used at the start of videos on Nico-Nia. Originates from a piece of ASCII art. Oh, well, there you go. That is most likely something that is true to, like, our real world, but... because it didn't say fictional. She's a Nico-Nia user, after all. Lately, people have been saying she's the best sang-it singer around. Kurusu seemed to be ignoring me and Ito. She was staring at the computer screen that was the source of the sound. I don't remember if I said this before, but if you don't know, Nico-Nia is a play on the real-world website, Nico, I think? Which is like the Japanese YouTube, Japanese, video site. What was that? The screams are from the audience members who discovered the body. One of them was recording a video, and that last part was in Takeyanagi-san's voice. It was from a miniature speaker embedded in her stomach. Ugh. Kurusu seemed confused, so Ito interjected. In other words, the whole concert that day had been pre-recorded. Evidence found later indicated that she'd split her own stomach open with a utility knife she got at a convenience store, then stuck a Bluetooth speaker inside. Sorry for adding some of my own words there. She closed the wound up with duct tape, not that it actually did much good. Then she used her clothes and the outfit to hide the wound and started her performance. At first, she played the guitar along with the sound of her recorded voice, but after a while, she stopped playing. That was when she leaned forward and didn't get back up, so she was probably already dead then. But while the audience thought it was strange, they kept listening. Either the blood from her wounds broke the portable music player in her pocket, or maybe it was supposed to be this way from the start. But until that same line you just heard played over and over, no one realized she was dead. Damn. Kurusu's face was a mixture of confusion and discomfort. Of course it was. She'd never heard of something like this before. I couldn't hold back my excitement. See? Amazing, right? Instead of agreeing, Kurusu's brow furrowed. She probably didn't realize it, but she'd wrapped her arms around herself. What was wrong? Was that a little too creepy? And? All we've done so far is go over what we know. What's your discovery? Oh yeah, he's right. I used the computer to print out a series of pictures. Obviously, we don't know what the motive behind these two killings are. The one suspect we've got is whoever visited Utani's room. But we don't know who they are, what they wanted, or what they were talking about. But I think there's more of this to come. It's only a guess, though, based off of something the victims have in common. Huh? Seriously? Ito leapt out of his chair in shock. Well, I couldn't blame him. We spent forever going over things they could have had in common. All we came up with was that they both lived in Shibuya and that they both used Nico-Nia. The only other things are that they were both semi-famous and they both died in a bizarre way. But that didn't tell us anything we didn't already know, did it? So you didn't see the other thing they had in common. I pointed toward the bulletin board as I spoke. Ito looked really annoyed. Damn it, you arrogant asshole. What's up with that thing you're printing out anyway? One of the best parts of finding something like this was seeing the angry look on his face. Well, it was only yesterday that I found it myself, though. Relax. What did you find? Kurusu beckoned for me to go on. No matter what she said, after hearing all this, she'd probably wanted to know what came next. Oh, it finished printing. Kazuki suddenly stood in front of me. She offered me the printed images without a word. Thanks. Then she offered me something else. A lollipop? Oh, take it. Are you giving me this? She nodded. Thanks. That was nice. Kazuki seemed to be communicating in her own unique way. She walked over to the bulletin board and tapped the data printouts on the 2 cases with her finger. Kazuki, what's wrong? She did it. Whoops, she did it again. I saw the part she was pointing at and nodded. That's right, the dates. The 7th, the 19th. That's what they have in common. Strange deaths on September 7th and September 19th. Ring a bell? I kept looking at Ito. Usually he would be the one to pick up on this. A second later, oh, he froze. He must have figured it out. Yep, with your love of weird murders, you know what I'm talking about. I pinned the images I just printed out onto the bulletin board's map. September 7th, group dive. September 19th, man-child. September 29th, crucifixion. October 10th, vampire. October 23rd, numbskull. October 28th, finger food. November 4th, Dokyun puzzle. The new generation madness. Yep. 6 years ago, in 2009, during the events of Chaos Head, a series of strange deaths had occurred just before the earthquake that struck Shibuya on November 6th. They became famous for the words left by the killer, "Whose eyes are those eyes?" They called the killings the New Generation Madness. The murders took place in Shibuya, but the whole country took an interest in them. At the time, I was in 6th grade, and just like a lot of people, I followed every new development on the internet. The dates match up exactly with the dates of the murders from 6 years ago. They may be set up to look like suicides, but they're every bit as weird as the old killings. It's a coincidence. She seemed to be trying to force the words out of her throat. Kurusu was acting a little strange. Her arms clutched her torso even tighter. Vice President? Maybe it was because of all the creepy pictures she'd seen. Kurusu was clearly shaking. She tried her best to stop it as she spoke. Stop trying to connect every little event. It's just a coincidence that they line up. We'll know for sure soon. The 3rd New Generation incident took place on September 29th. In other words, today. If something weird happens in Shibuya again, we'll know for sure. If a coincidence happens 3 times, it's not a coincidence anymore. A phone rang. It was mine. Yes, there's been a murder. Or maybe an accident? Well, either way, I think what you've said might have been right. I could feel my heart starting to race as she spoke. It was a love hotel area in Dogenzaka, 5 minutes from Shibuya Station. A few days ago, there had been some kind of suspicious fire here, and I had come here to do some reporting. The place was supposedly a love hotel spot, but even at night, when business should have been booming, it wasn't particularly exciting. During the day, when all the lights were turned off, if you didn't look at the signs, it wouldn't look very different from your average neighborhood. One of the buildings was a 4-story love hotel with the terrible name Fairy's Dance. It faced a narrow street and there was no parking lot, so the police car was parked at a meter nearby. This way! Sarika was standing in front of a general store some distance away. She was supposed to be spending the day taking photos of the area around the last 2 crime scenes. What happened? I don't know. I passed by Gensan near 107 and he told me something was up here. I just don't get that guy. Where does he find out about this stuff? It's helpful, so I guess it doesn't matter too much. Gensan was a homeless man I knew who had sold me all the books in my secret stash. He was a drunk who claimed to be of noble blood, but the stories he told me about his past didn't sound very noble at all. The guy was a weirdo, but since he spent all his time wandering around Shibuya, he knew a surprising amount of info about it. But it seems like something's really happening, though. The policeman who just went in looked like he was calling for backup. I see. I decided to start by taking a video of the outside of the hotel with my smartphone. You really run fast at times like these. They're all panting. I'd left the 2 of them in the club room, and they'd only just now caught up with me. They must have ran here. Ito, especially, was breathing very heavily. What? Kurusu came too? Kazuki had decided not to come, evidently. Of course not. I'd never seen her outside, except when we were going to and from school. So, did something happen? I told Ito what I'd heard from Serika. He seemed really disappointed. What? You sure it's not just some couple that had a fight? Would you call reinforcements just for that? And today's the 29th, you know. I told you, you're overthinking this. Karusu seemed upset. She glanced at the love hotels around her in disgust. Let's get back to school. This isn't a place where students are supposed to be. What if one of the security cameras spots us? She probably didn't want to get involved. Ever since the rebuilding, there had been more cameras around Shibuya than ever before, even around the love hotels. In our school uniforms, we probably stood out. Kurusu motioned for us to go home. And then... I saw something in the viewfinder. On the third floor of the Love Hotel, the windows in one of the rooms facing the alley were open. The windows must have been open all the way because the curtains were fluttering out. Hey, you normally don't open the windows in a place like this, do you? I asked Ito as I looked up at them. Yeah, probably not. I don't know, I've never been to one. Oh. Ito followed my gaze and saw it for himself. It felt suspicious. I'd never been to a love hotel either, so I didn't know, but normally you'd keep the windows shut, right? You wouldn't want people seeing or hearing what you were doing. And then, suddenly, I heard a sound from somewhere. It was a calming song with a simple melody. I took a closer listen. Was it a music box? Was literally what we're hearing. It definitely was. It was coming from the room with the open windows. It sounded like it was inviting us in. What was going on? I looked around. The building across from the open window was another love hotel, but it had no windows on that side. I couldn't look into the building like I'd done with the karaoke box last week, and I certainly couldn't climb my way up. Wait, what are you thinking? I must have had a pensive look on my face because Kurusu had turned to me curiously. If we can get inside without them finding us... What? I looked over at the parking meters. There was still only the one car. Okay. There should be a rear entrance somewhere, so let's do it before the police reinforcements get here. Ito, go around from that side. Okay? I'll take this side. Takaru, stop. Look at me. I began to go around the building, not waiting for Ito's answer, but Kurusu grabbed my arm. You can't do this. This is way beyond what a high school club should be involved in. Won't you listen to me? Oh, I don't know if he's going to listen. Crap. She was just a millimeter short of making that face again. And this is one of those dirty hotels too, isn't it? Also, what if you get caught up in something weird? I knew all that, but I didn't want to give up. This might be my chance to get a real scoop. What if you get expelled? As your big sister, I can't let you put yourself in danger. Sister? We're not actually family, are we? Oh. What the heck? Kurusu immediately grabbed me by the collar with incredible force and brought her face so close to mine that our foreheads touched. Oh my god. I could tell that her cheeks were flushed. There was a small, wordless growl from deep within her throat, and her arms were shaking a little as she held me. What was she trying to say? No, I knew exactly what she was trying to say, but Kurusu didn't say it. Kurusu wasn't the sort of awful person who'd bring up the distant past to try and win an argument. And anyway, that was all over now. It wasn't either of our faults. Stop it! Oh. Suddenly, Seriko ran over and tackled Kurusu. The momentum slammed both of them into the ground. Ow, Seriko, what was that for? No fighting, Nanchan. That goes for you too, Taku. The motto of the newspaper club is that all 5 of us are friends, right? No, that was never our motto. Shin-chan, you need to stop them too. Oh, wait, where were you? Oh, that's right. This is no time for fighting, Taku. She suddenly hopped up like a cheap toy. The back door is open. What? I was thirsty, but I couldn't find a vending machine, so I decided to look inside the hotel and went around to the back door and opened it. Then I went inside and there was a vending machine and I said to myself, way to go, fairies dance, and then I bought a drink and gulped it down and then said, wait a second. What? You always get ahead of yourself. So Taku, what's the plan? I could tell that Karusu was glaring at me, but she didn't say anything. She couldn't say anything. Let's go together. If we pretend to be a couple, we might be able to fool them if it comes to that. Okay. As soon as the words were out of my mouth, Sarika beckoned me to follow her. I did. Without a word. I didn't say it, but in my heart I apologized to Karusu as I went. Of course, she couldn't hear me, so she didn't say anything. Alright, and with this transition, we're about to see a murder case. Another murder, I'm sure. So we're going to stop this episode here, and I hope you'll join me next time to see what graphic content awaits us. I'll see you then.